right. It is now time for raising funds for World Domination, day number 223. So, for the daily status update, there are basically no updates on any of this. This is all of these items are the same compared to yesterday and today. I spent all day recording video and also editing video. That's what things are like when you make YouTube videos. Your life can be pretty boring. You just spend all day making a video. And that's all I did today. And I will do the same thing tomorrow and probably the next day. So, I guess also I did one other thing. I merged in the code changes that I have. So we'll run that. So tonight we'll continue with a little bit more work on the bootstrapping process for bootstrapping and provisioning new players. So I'm making some changes to the whole player object model and also how it's stored on the server. And this is going to be necessary changes to facilitate multiplayer. And this is expected. That's basically where I left off yesterday. Because I'm going to implement a handler for this. Error notification. Orthoplex 64. How's it going? So I'll make this on error notification block message. And then probably needs a type. Saval Bardwaj says hello, but then redacted the message. But I was quick. I read it before you were able to redact it. I caught you. Your secret is out there permanently. Saw you in the wild yesterday. In Kamikaze's short post comments. Oh, in what comments? Yeah, in the I think I did I did a super thanks on one of our videos. Yeah, it's interesting how small the whole YouTube sphere is. This should call the handler now. And then I can actually handle that error. On the fighting AI prompt bros in the comments. Yeah. Alright, that's progress. Do you have a favorite language? I don't know. I guess the topic of language comes up a lot. I guess I should make a video on this and then redirect everyone to it. I think of languages as tools, so depending on what problem you're trying to solve, what domain it's in, how many lines of code is the project going to be? Is the project going to be worked on by other developers? I think these are all questions you have to ask to arrive at the decision for the right language. How many funds have you raised for world domination? And do you think money alone will be enough? I think money is an important start. I think it slowed down quite a bit in the last while. I think it's probably running total is probably on the order of about $3,000 so far since the start of the 220 something day series. I had this live streams on monetization off for about, I did like about 100 live streams with monetization off. Because I previously you used to have to declare that your content was like monetization friendly and stuff, but with the live streams I didn't want to do that because if your accuracy gets flagged as wrong, then when you upload like regular content, they might not trust it and might not monetize as well. And since the live streams basically make $0 from ads anyway, I decided to turn off. But I believe, I have a hunch that actually is responsible for making the channel metrics generally go down over the last few months. So we'll see if having it on, I guess it's been on for maybe a month now or so. Although the revenue for last month was up substantially. It was like the revenue was like 3 times as much last month, which is actually not saying a lot. Well, last month it was, I think, $2,600. And most of the revenue actually comes from other videos. Actually, the how to make a CPU video, that one is still like, that's the top video on the channel, and all my other videos don't get views. It's weird. It's like I have to make new videos that don't get views in order for the videos that do get views to get more views. Okay, we gotta provision a player. Cybernetic Logos says hello. How's the grind? It's coming along. I think I'm getting closer to having this player provisioning feature working here. Glad it's going up. Also a big fan of your funny AI thumbnails. Oh, that's good. Yeah, I get a decent number of people that really don't like the AI stuff. I think a lot of them are kind of stupid. I don't have a lot of. I try to make one every day, but it's it's harder than you think to think up something that's kind of silly and funny. Honestly, I need new content. I've been kind of recycling the same old shorts a lot. But the problem is I'm working on content during the day, and that takes time. Player provisioning sounds awesome. I like account systems. Yeah, this will be for the process of setting up setting up the areas in memory for the initial inventory, and I'm also going to introduce something for like how the player itself is going to become a block in the game. And that's initially anyway, that's how I'm going to implement collision detection. So the player itself is just a block that moves around its coordinate. which would mean that the player cannot occupy the same block as another thing. I guess in the future, maybe I could, I don't know, extend the model a bit so that you could have like a block could contain sub blocks within it or something, but that's getting ahead of things. Make a small multiplayer engine with me. That could be good content. I'm gonna, right now I got my hands full with making this small multiplayer engine for this thing. I guess the code's all out there, so you could look at it and see how it's done, or see how I'm doing it. Although the way I'm doing it is not necessarily the right way. Actually, it's probably kind of a crazy way, but I'm going to try this approach. Code's proprietary. It is, although you could kind of just, as long as you don't copy and paste it. You can look at the architectural approach. Running my engine C++. Won't copy and paste. But if I ever get patent trolled, how about destroy? Yeah, I won't be filing any patents in the near future. Yeah, honestly, with the rise of AI, I think I saw a video the other day about like some recent concern about patent trolling with software, some legal ruling, but with AI code generation now, I would assume that's gonna like that's really destroying copyright, and software patents were already kind of a flaky thing to begin with. I should have another enum for this. Really only use open source personally. Made it clear to my previous employers I will not be patent trolled or IP guarded. Yeah, patent trolling is, it's kind of tragic how the whole idea of patents to begin with, the spirit of patents, it was supposed to be a way to like create an economy for inventors. So like inventors, people who just wanted to like, do the intellectual pursuits of stuff could just do their thing and then invent stuff and then write it down and then pay it without having to build the entire supply chain. And then we get to cash out on that and move on to the next invention. But that's kind of not really how patents exist today. They're like an anti-innovation thing. All right, we're going to do another enum. XAI, maybe sign NDA, turn down the full code interview. Want to do my own stuff. Yeah, it's good to have the freedom. And I guess now that you got a house, you can be free. I don't have to pay rent. You gotta pay taxes, I guess. thought about doing devlog videos of a game arc. I guess these live streams are basically the devlog. Probably need 8 hours of focused work to get the content for a video like that. Yeah, that's the thing. I'm already working on a video right now. I can't work on any more content. There's not enough hours in the day, and I already got so many things in progress that I want to finish. I gotta just finish them. I gotta work even more, so that means even less getting sidetracked. I guess one side effect of this is I'll be able to kind of clean up some of the other garbage code in the client model. All right. Block dictionary. I keep calling it directory. Daily hour-long live streams, pretty intense. Well, I actually it's down. I was doing 2 hours, but I I need the time to finish up the editing of the next video. It's got a lot of stuff in it. Do you ask people to dislike your video because it's better for the algorithm? I think it. I assume you mean the recent community posts. I think largely it really doesn't matter. I think the most likely effect is that most people would see that, and then they would be like, I guess there's a couple, like there was one implicit subliminal thing. It is if I say like nobody disliked this video, you could be the first. People will think, oh, if no one disliked this video, that implies that the video is good. So it's probably worth watching. So then you'll be more inclined to click on it and then actually watch it. And then whether you like it or dislike it is kind of irrelevant. But then it also, I think everything is kind of, if someone is seeing the community post, there's a high probability that they will like it. And in the event that someone does dislike it, if they legitimately don't like it, then I think that's actually just more information for the algorithm. I think for like one dislike, it probably doesn't matter. But I do think in aggregate, I would say if YouTube is smart, they would, like I'm sure they do tons of analysis, but I would assume for some people don't like or dislike things much, and when those people do like or dislike something, it probably counts way more. And then people who constantly like things, YouTube probably doesn't count those ones at all. And I think that there's probably have some kind of algorithm to determine like if how relevant a like or dislike is, because sometimes people dislike stuff because it's not relevant, not necessarily because it's not good. And I think YouTube tries to figure out the difference between those things. We're playing some psychological magic. Yep. Bassam Beats says, hi, how's it going? Can you check out how many have disliked it? The last time I checked it, it only had one. And I posted that comment under it, and I said that one person had disliked it. But I forget. I haven't checked them last. I think I checked today, and it was still only at like one. I dislike extremely sparingly, specifically because they might count more. Like say, yeah, I'd assume they, like, thinking logically, if you were writing the code, if you were writing the algorithm, what would you do? I assume people who don't like as much, and there's probably, like I'm sure there's people out there who like don't like someone, or they're like, oh, Justin Bieber. I don't like Justin Bieber. And then they go to Justin Bieber's videos and watch all of his videos and then dislike them all. And I'm sure YouTube figures out patterns like that this person is just like watches it for 1 second to dislike it and then like makes a mean comment or something. And those ones probably don't get counted. Or they just get weighted very low. Ginseng on Rogan today. Yeah, I saw some clips come up of that. I didn't watch any of them. If I really hate your channel, I'll click don't recommend. Yeah, I'm sure it all just gets filtered into like generic signals, and then there's an additional algorithm that figures out like which signal which signal is actually relevant. Like for every individual, it's probably on an individual basis, and then it's analyzed on like a audience segment basis and stuff. What mic do you use? Sounds nice. It is I forget. It says on it. It's something like a Newer. I can't remember the pronunciation. Newer 410 or 210 or something. It was on Amazon, so it comes in a pack of two mics on Amazon, and actually I have two. I bought two of these sets of two because for some reason every pair, and this is in the comments, and I have it. This is true with both pairs. One of the mics has a very high noise floor, and you will hear like a bit of static in the background, and the other one is fine, and it sounds like this. So actually that's why I feel like a couple that I just bought the pack twice, and then I use the better one. I guess the other thing is I'm also very close to the mic, so that makes it sound better, and my voice is pretty quiet at the moment. But if I sit back here, it doesn't sound as good. What do you make Ginseng? Did he seem different than he is today? I didn't watch the interview, but I've seen him in various interviews, and he seems he's a particular cadence. Yeah, he does. I think he's I mean, when I met him at his house, like he definitely has I guess when he was more like relaxed, he definitely has a kind of leadership or a very good orator type of personality. Like I remember it was actually kind of amusing, and when he was there, because there was like 100 interns there, and the interns would all they would gather around him in a circle, and then he would be talking about stuff, but this thing in the future, and he'd be talking about the technology and stuff, and it was kind of just him going off on lots of tangents and stuff like that. And there was 60 people around him in a circle who were just totally transfixed and listening to everything he's saying, listening to his wisdom, but no one was really having conversations with him. But I think he actually just wanted to have some conversations with people, but everyone was just gathered around him, waiting for for him to say some incredible piece of wisdom, and then eventually he'd kind of finish his thoughts, and no one would really say anything, and then he was just all right guys, go have some food now, go do some stuff. Yeah, for the mic, actually, if you don't mind, I'll let me try and pull this off. it says on it. Nope, I guess it doesn't say on it. Yeah, it was like a dog started barking at the sound. Yeah, it's like a newer for type. Actually, I think it's NEWER. If you just search for like newer mic on Amazon, I don't know if they still sell it, but it was in a pack of 2, and it comes with 3 like polar patterns you can put onto it, which is also a pretty cool feature. And it comes in packs of 2. And in the comments, the reviews, you'll see people say one of the mics has a high noise floor. I guess it's, I don't know, a quality control thing or something. They test them all and then pair them up so you get one of each. 60 introverted interns. Yeah, it's kind of amusing to see that. I guess I probably won't get all that done tonight. Have you tried Omarky? I have not. Is that an AI thing? I forget. I've lost track of all the AI things, AI tools. What's your favorite part about streaming? I guess one of the unexpected benefits is kind of just like the shared consciousness of like I'm doing stuff, and then people are like, hey, did you see this thing happened? Or like someone mentioned Jensen on Rogan. I guess I knew that, but this other stuff where people say like, actually yesterday someone came in and said that Linus Torvalds was on Linus Tech Tips, and actually today I watched that, and it's kind of it's interesting to have it's like other pairs of eyes and ears, and also the occasionally when people come in and say like, why are you doing this? Why don't you do it this way? Occasionally that's actually people ask that, and I'll be like, I did not even know you could do that. Like actually one of them I forgot. It was it was always on top. Yeah, there was this. Oh yeah. Yeah, you can do that. And someone just mentioned, I had a thing where I was switching between windows a lot, and I had no idea you could do that. So I was just like, did you know you could do this? Marquee is a new Linux distro by DHH. Oh, okay. Yeah, actually, I recall having that conversation at least once. But people tell me I have so many of these conversations on the chat that I end up forgetting them all. Didn't know that either. Going to use that. Yeah, I was like, that's honestly actually even since that time, I think we may have only used that once, but it's just something I didn't know existed, and I was kind of laboriously whatever I was doing. I think I was testing something, but I was checking the log, so I was going like if I during normal development, I would have the log on a separate monitor, but because I'm streaming it, it's all on the same one. So I was switching between this terminal and the log one, which I guess ideally I'd use like Tmux or something for that, but it was just a super relevant thing for that exact scenario. And yes, I guess other kinds of innumerable things that people just mention. Possible fall through. Oh no. Oh, you're right. Good thing I had W error on. Right, that doesn't crash, so it's getting one more step through the whole initialization protocol. So I think that'll basically be it for the development today. So yeah, the workflow is basically a client. On the first run of a client, it starts up, runs, sends this message: request root dictionary address. And that will check, is it initialized? If it's initialized, it'll send the address. And that's going to be basically just like a JSON dictionary that contains a map of all the relevant block addresses that you need to subscribe to keep up to date with the model, with the player model. So then the client will just basically read and subscribe to those addresses. And that's how the client will pull in data on player position and the inventory. If it's not initialized, it sends back an error. The error gets caught by the client. The client sends a provision player command. And that is going to run this function. So this is just initializing the dictionary. This is giving me the addresses for the special blocks that are for the actual player model blocks. So I'm just going to put them all beside each other for now. I could refactor this later, but I'll just lay them out in memory and then have them. They'll just be off by one enum value each time on the x-axis, and then on the z-axis, that's going to be authorized client ID. And with this layout, that should allow me, if I want to, within the game, if I want to browse the internal data structures, I can just browse to this weird location 9999, and I'll see them laid out next to all the player data laid out next to each other. So eventually, if I need to debug and inspect stuff, then I will be able to do that. Now, I realized in thinking about it, there's actually a problem. Because I think I said before that this, instead of being an error notification, this would send another authorized command block message. But this message type does not have support. Yeah, it doesn't support sending back an address unless I add that as a parameter. I guess I could just add that. And for every other message type, it's just nothing. It's just empty. I guess the idea behind this is I want to keep as many of the commands as possible. Like as many of the messages are just going to deal with like block region updates. But I do have to have this one inconsistency when the player does not exist yet, because I can't. There has to be a message. The player has to be able to. The authenticated player has to be able to send a message to say, create the initial data structures that would even tell me where the player information is. And that's what we're doing now. All right, so I guess next stream, I'll continue with that. And the next part to add is going to be down here, where I will actually serialize this block dictionary right into the database. I guess I need to make sure I need a way of notifying that it's actually, yeah, because I don't know, can I have another message type to send back that it has been provisioned? And then once it is provisioned, then it'll just restart the it'll send this message again, and this time this will succeed. It gets the address, subscribe to that address, and then the rest is basically the same. All right, that's it for tonight. We'll be back tomorrow night for day 224. Have a good night.